Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another edition of Dixie State University Trailblazer Volleyball. I'm your guide tonight, James Guerin, and we got an exciting matchup between the Trailblazers of Dixie State and Black Hills State visiting for the start of our MAC play. Dixie State coming into tonight's matchup with a 5-3 record overall, and Black Hills State coming into this one with a 2-6 record overall. Not the ideal start that they would have liked to start off the season, and Dixie State looking to extend on their winning streak. Last weekend in a tournament down in Texas, they had a 4-game winning streak. All 4 games they took victory, and that's exactly what you want early on in the season on the road against some pretty tough opponents, keep in mind. Not cakewalk at all for Dixie State, and now they get to come home for the first time inside the Student Activity Center of the 2019 season. And another year in the books for Dixie State. Another year for me calling all the home games for the Trailblazers, and I cannot wait. The tournament 2 weekends ago, Dixie State had some players out with some nagging injuries, including Toa Beich and Casey Rogers. Both of them are suited up tonight, and we could see them, in fact, for the first time at home in this season. Dixie State wearing their navy blues. Of course, the libero wearing the white, the red trim, and as for the Yellow Jackets wearing their white aways and the libero green with the yellow trim. As both teams get ready to line up. So again, the first matchup for conference play for both teams. Of course, as the rest of the conference as well, getting ready to start their conference play as well. I'll do my best to keep you guys informed on all the scores from around the conference. Starting lineups for the visiting Yellow Jackets. Number 4, Sierra Ward. Number 5, Hayden Rhodes. Kendra Cerrone. Number 8. Number 12, Jesse Hibble. Number 13, Peyton Bodman. And number 15, Laura Lech. And Mariah Robinson to finish it off for the Yellow Jackets, and they are coached by Kristen Carmichael, her 6th season with the program. And a pretty good-sized crowd here for a Friday night, and your starting lineup for Dixie State, as always, number 1, Jordan Nelson. Number 6, Lauren Gamble. Lauren Gamble, one of the 2 All-Americans returning from last year. Number 8, Sydney Johnson, also getting the start here tonight. McKenna Nelson, the libero, and she has been a very nice surprise for Dixie State so far this season. Megan Trainer, the other All-American returning from last year's squad. And we'll be saying her name a lot tonight. And Lizzie Clark, number 16, also getting the start as well. And number 19, Toa Faleo will get her first start here in the 2019 season at home. She did play a little bit last weekend on the road, but her first start here at the home crowd. We'll step aside for our nation's anthem.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
For over a century, Dixie State University has been shaping the trailblazers of tomorrow by providing a culture of active learning, active life. With a paradigm of real-world experience mixed with cutting-edge technologies and rich traditions, we provide one of the most affordable educations in the West set against the most stunning backdrop on the planet.
Where do you...
Welcome back inside the Student Activity Center. We are just moments away from the start of the best-of-5 series between Dixie State and Black Hills State. As I was mentioning before the break, Dixie State is coming into this matchup with a 5-3 record overall, and Black Hills State coming in with a 2-6 record. But it was a slow start for Dixie State, however. It wasn't all, happy moments early on in the season. They did start off their Desert Garden Classic 1-3 overall, and then winning 4 straight on the road last weekend. And Coach Felder has to be thrilled with how her squad had performed on the road. It's always a great thing when you come out of a road tournament undefeated, and none of them went to 5 sets. As I'm looking at here over the weekend, 3-1, 3-1, 3-0, and 3-1. So a very dominating performance from Dixie State last weekend, and hopefully we can see them do some more of that tonight. As today will be the first time that we see the Twin Towers from last year, and that will be featuring one of the All-Americans, Lauren Gamble and Toa Faleo. For those of you that were with us last year, you'd see how dominant those two were up front, especially when it came to the blocks. My goodness, I lost track of how many blocks those two had combined, and it's nice to see them both out there to start off this match. And starting things off first for the Yellow Jackets is number 15, Laura Leach. Or Leach, excuse me. And away we go. Johnson to start things off. And big swing from Beich. Dixie State with another opportunity right here. Beich again. Lightly hits it over. Here's an opportunity for the Yellow Jackets. That's going to be from Cerrone. And finishing off with Trainer, and Trainer already starting off on a hot note, finds that back left corner in between two defenders. And Dixie State strikes first. As take a look right there. Perfect setup. No problem for her. And a serving error by Faleo. And Cerrone. Faleo. And finishing off with Gamble. And no one's there to pick it up, and that was off the hands of Cerrone. And Gamble right off the bat. And checking in for Dixie State is Lizzie Clark. And McKenna Nelson now serving for Dixie State. Opportunity right here for the Yellow Jackets, and a hitting error, and that would be Madison Hootman. Here's Nelson again. And a big swing, and that would be by Ward. And it was blocked by Dixie State, and the Yellow Jackets had a chance to respond to get it back over the net, but denied. as tonight's crowd does feature the baseball team. So we'll be hearing a pretty loud crowd here tonight, and nobody calls that one off, and McKenna Nelson with an easy serving ace right there. 5-1 here, Dixie State here in set one. It's going to be Leach, and Nelson setting up Clark, and off the hands, and Yellow Jackets able to survive, and that hit too short once again from Hoopman. And Dixie State capitalizing on all the errors so far from the Yellow Jackets. Nelson again. We'll find Leach. And big swing, but Nelson's right there over to the other Nelson. Fleo with the swing. Yellow Jackets with a chance right here. It's going to be Hoopman again, and Hoopman is denied at the net. And Gamble and Clark leading the way, and an early timeout from Coach Carmichael here in the first set as we take one last look here at the opportunity from Hoopman, and yeah, no chance there as Clark was all over that one with the help of Meg Trainer, and 7-1 here early on here in set number one, and exactly what Dixie State wanted to do, start off hot, no mental mistakes, and so far it's been Black Hills State making all the mistakes. And when Dixie State, when they play clean games, they become blowouts. As we did see that early on from them in the Desert Garden Classic, we saw a lot of mental mistakes, but it's the beginning of the season, you're always going to get those, and tonight, so far from what we've seen, Dixie State playing a clean game. They came prepared and focused. First match of conference play in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference for both of these squads. Here's Nelson again. And it's going to finish with another chance right here from Hoopman, and Hoopman. And no tip on the play. Nobody got a hand on it on Dixie State's side, and that opportunity goes well beyond the back line. That one was a shot. Nelson again. And set up by Leach, and Leach. Nelson setting up, and that's going to be Lizzie Clark. May have mistimed it just by a hair, but either way it works. As we see that quick attack from the Yellow Jackets, but Clark just out the reach, and a short serve here. Big swing again, and that time it is going to fall. Sierra Ward getting her first kill in the match, and 9-2 here. Mariah Robinson checks in for the Yellow Jackets. There's Bodeman. Johnson to Faleo. Johnson again. It's going to be Leach over to Hoopman, and block denied, and Meg Trainer leading the way, and Lizzie Clark right next to her to help her out. And Haley Oviatt checks in for Dixie State, and Meg Trainer now serving for the Trailblazers. Tips the net, no problem though. Big swing, and Robinson immediately after the sub makes her name known in a kill for the Yellow Jackets. Tess Thomas now will serve for the Yellow Jackets. Low serve, Nelson right there. And big swing from Johnson, another chance right here. Trainer is going to find Oviatt. It's going to find Rhodes. And Leach. And Trainer set not high enough as that caught Lizzie Clark off guard. We'll take another look at it, and just didn't get enough height on that one. Thomas again. Trainer to Oviatt, and that one out of play. Out beyond the far line. And just didn't get the angle that she wanted. She had the right idea. Thomas again. Beich to Trainer. And finishing with Beich. Big hit. And there's Oviatt to Trainer and Trainer. Tip over the front line, but no problem. Here's a chance right here for Johnson. Thomas to Leach. And Robinson, big swing. Thomas over Leach again. And it's going to finish with Johnson, big swing, and that will be off the ceiling. In low ceilings, you can play off of the bounce, and getting a hand on that was Hayden Rhodes. And a kill for Johnson, and Hannah Waddell checks in for Dixie State, and now to do the honors. And Robinson's hit is short of the net. And another point here for Dixie State as they're up 12-5 here in the first set. And there's Waddell to find Thomas, and it's going to finish with Hoopman, and Hoopman gets that one to go down. And it looked like it was off the hands of Oviatt and out of play, so a point for the Yellow Jackets. Jesse Hibble now to serve. Faleo to Trainer, gonna finish with Faleo, and yeah, no one's getting to that one. Fired in there. And good luck trying to stop those powerful hits from Faleo. There's Clark. And Thomas switching it over. And that one's going to get off the hand of Cerrone. Rhodes now. Faleo. And that one was off the hands of Faleo and too low for anybody else to get to it. So a serving ace for Rhodes. And Waddell to Trainer. He's going to find Oviatt off the hands of Rhodes. And going to finish with Leach, and was blocked at the net. And who else? It's the Twin Towers. And that one falls inside the line. And I have a feeling we're going to see that a lot tonight. Hibble. And big swing, but blocked again. Another chance right here. And blocked again, and nearly getting that one to come back over. And with the effort is Trainer. Trying to pop that one back up. Here's Leak. Faleo to Nelson. Big swing from Trainer, and that one is blocked by Bodeman. And had the perfect windup, but hit directly at the Yellow Jacket defenders. It's going to finish with Faleo off the front line. And another chance right here. Quick attack, and can they keep it alive? And one more hit, and they do. Good concentration from Dixie State. And off the hands of Nelson, and 2 times in a row able to keep it alive. Big swing, and third time is not the charm for Dixie State. However, it is third time the charm for the Yellow Jackets, and that one was hit right in the direction of McKenna Nelson, and all of a sudden it's just a 3-point game. Nelson to Nelson. It's going to finish with Faleo. Big swing, and out beyond the back line. And the Yellow Jackets have come all the way back. What looked like to be all Dixie State here, they've made it a game. And Gamble has to safely play it over. Yellow Jackets with a chance right here. And making something out of nothing. Everybody on Dixie State's side froze right there for just a second. Waddell had to make a diving effort for it. And even the Yellow Jackets thought that one was going to go out of play. Instead, falls inside. Swinging it over to the far side and blocked initially. Yellow Jackets another chance right here. Faleo to Nelson. Back toward the Trainer. Trainer fires that baby in there. Just a perfect setup from the start to the finish, and Trainer found that open space on the near side. Here's Faleo. And that serve out, and good call from the back line of the Yellow Jackets. And that one didn't have the dip that Faleo wanted, and Rebecca Ferris checks in for the first time for Dixie State. And Cerrone now to serve. Ferris over to Nelson. It's going to find Trainer, and Trainer playing it softly. Pancake diving save. Tipped at the line, and the front line lost track of the ball. Saw Trainer at the last second turn around looking for it and just lost it. And so 16-14 here in the first set. That's Johnson. And dangerous opportunity, and the Yellow Jackets take advantage of it. And just a 1-point game here, and Coach Felder will take her first time out. And we will too. We'll be back in 60 seconds here on the Dixie State University Trailblazer Volleyball Network.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. Who knows? Maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
I take the road less traveled, run free, unwind, unravel someplace outside with lots to do. Green trees, red rocks, and don't forget that blue sky. The sunshine shining, sunshine pouring on me. Think I might just stay a while. Say hooray all day because the sun is gonna shine on me. Sun is gonna shine on me. Sun's gonna shine on me.
And fresh out of the timeout, and a setting error. Fresh out of the timeout by Jordan Nelson. And tie game here. How the tables have turned here quickly. Ferris to Nelson, and it's going to find Johnson. Big swing, and deflected but out of play. McKenna Nelson now to do the honors. And leak. And off the ceiling, but Dixie State maintains a big swing from Trainer. And that is a familiar sight as Trainer fires that one in there, splitting the two defenders. Neither one knew which one was going to get it. And Leak sitting up Hoopman and popping it up, and Trainer. And a great effort from the Trailblazers side as Trainer nearly crashed in with her coaches on the sideline. And just a 1-point lead now for Dixie State. Johnson over to Nelson. And Nelson with a quick attack. Another chance right here for the Yellow Jackets, tipped at the front line. And Nelson popping it back up. And third chance right here, Hoopman over to Ferris. Nelson setting up Trainer, big swing. Johnson's right there, back to Nelson. Another chance right here for Johnson, and off the hands and into the crowd. And that will be off of Valerie Blake. And when Johnson gets the right contact on it, a lot of power comes from it. And that's due to her big windup. So 19-17 here. And there's Leak. And asking for a tip on it, but no tip, and that one goes outside of the line. And Trainer once again. Right towards Blake. And it's going to finish with Hoopman. Right to Nelson. Trainer going to set up a quick attack for Clark. Diving effort. And Hoopman again. And no deflection, and that one was hit out beyond the back line. And 21-17 here, and another timeout for Coach Carmichael and the Yellow Jackets. We're going to keep it here. And Dixie State early on here in this first set looked like they were going to run away with it, and then all of a sudden the Yellow Jackets strung together a series of points, and we're tied at 16 all. And then Dixie State out of those timeouts. They're always so well out of those timeouts, even going back to last year. And I know I talk about it all the time, but Dixie State always does well out of timeouts. And I'm not exactly sure what Coach Felder has to say to her squad, but every time they come out of a timeout, they're 90% of the time they always get the first 3 points out of the timeout, more times than not. So Dixie State looking to close out set one and to start off this conference playoff right. And if you can't make it to tonight's game, we have one more tomorrow at 6 p.m. again. And that will be against South Dakota Mines. So here we go. Trainer once again. Right to Blake. Leak going to set up Robinson, and Nelson to Johnson. And Ferris playing it safe. And Blake. And it's going to find Hoopman. Ferris to Trainer. Big swing from Johnson. Hoopman again. Ferris to Trainer. And Clark improvising on that awkward set. So take another look right here. Because it was just to the left of her, but she made it happen. So Trainer again. And here's a big swing and blocked at the net, but another chance right here. Nelson to Trainer. And off the net, Yellow Jackets, another chance right here. And off the net again. Trainer and Nelson just going to have to play it safe. And Blake to Leak. And rolling off the net is the block from the Trailblazers, and Johnson leading the way. As you see right there, just rolled for an eternity on top of that net. Here's Trainer again. Hit right towards a dangerous chance right here, and Oviatt capitalizes on the poor return, and no chance for the Yellow Jacketers. We're looking at game point here in the first set. Can Trainer end it right here? To Blake and Leak, and big swing off the front line. And quick opportunity, Yellow Jackets keeping it alive. Going for the kill shot is Oviatt. And another chance here. And back and forth we go, off the front line again. And Hoopman, and it is blocked. And that's exactly how the first set will conclude here. 25-17. And one more look, and not a chance. And that was off of the opportunity from Hoopman. But that front line of Dixie State, we've seen multiple times here, shut the attack down. And we'll take a quick break. We'll be back in 60 seconds on the DSU Trailblazer Volleyball Network.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
I I take the road less traveled, run free, unwind, unravel, someplace outside with lots to do. Green trees, red rocks, and don't forget that blue sky. The sunshine shining, sunshine pouring on me. Think I might just stay a while. Say hooray all day because the sun is gonna shine on me. Sun is gonna shine on me. Sun's gonna shine on me.
Welcome back to the Student Activity Center, where you just saw Dixie State taking away the first set against Black Hill State 25-17, and kind of a seesaw battle between these both squads. Dixie State went out to a pretty good sized lead. They were up 8-1 at one point. Then all of a sudden we were tied at 16-16, and then Dixie State went on a 9-1 run to end that first set, and that's exactly what Dixie State needs to do if they want to come out here with a sweeping victory. Now, I don't want to jinx anything here, but if sets 2 and 3 look anything like they did in set 1, then this will be a clean sweep for the Trailblazers. And a good-sized crowd here. I got the student section right in front of me. They're all standing up. And then to the right of them, we got the baseball team. So the baseball team, they make a few appearances every year, and what a way to start off the year than to be here at the first game inside the Student Activity Center. Now, many of you are wondering out there, oh, well, Dixie State, they're building that Human Performance Center. Is volleyball going to move into there when, it's complete? And the answer is no. Coach Felder has made it clear that her squad will stay inside the Student Activity Center like they have been for however long it is that they've been inside the Student Activity Center. But she has made it clear to everybody that they will not be moving in to the Human Performance Center and just keep it how the history books have had it. And honestly, I kind of like that. I like keeping it here, and I was thinking about it on the way here that, Coach Felder's mindset is, practice where they play. And I've been told that they also have night practices as well, so their bodies are used to that, playing at night, practicing at night, so their bodies aren't going through morning practices and night games and throwing their bodies off. And I like it. I like the idea of that. So just moments away here before the start of the second set. And Jordan Nelson now to start off here for the second set. And that serve low to start off the second set. Meg Trainer led the way for Dixie State with 3 kills in that first set, 3.5 points. And Nelson trying to throw the Yellow Jackets off guard. Ward, big swing. Twin Towers are right there, and a big swing from Faleo. Able to recover. Trainer again. And off the ceiling. And there's Nelson to Nelson. Going to find Gamble. And Gamble, no chance of getting that one, as that one was fired in there. We'll take another look at it right here. Perfect set. Nobody had a chance, as that one just had too much speed on it. And Faleo. And that will be a serving ace for Faleo, and that one just falls off the hands of Hoopman. Hoopman again, and Hoopman is stuffed. And Gamble and Trainer are right there to deny it. And Dixie State giving Hoopman all kinds of trouble here so far in this match. Faleo again. And another serving ace for Faleo. And that one was off the hands of Blake initially and kind of threw everybody else off guard. So 4-1 here early on in the second set. And make that 3 serving aces so far here in the second set. And Coach Carmichael's like, I've had enough. We're going to take a timeout as well. We'll be back in 60 seconds here on the DSU Trailblazer Volleyball Network.
I take the road less traveled, run free, unwind, unravel, someplace outside with lots to do. Green trees, red rocks, and don't forget that blue sky. The sunshine shining, sunshine pouring on me. Think I might just stay a while. Say hooray all day because the sun is gonna shine on me. Sun is gonna shine on me. Sun's gonna shine on me.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look.
And fresh out of that timeout, it looks like it was a formation error on the Yellow Jacket side, and whistle was blown before the ball even made it over the net, so a free point for Dixie State. And Leak gonna set up Hoopman, and Hoopman finally gets one to go through that front wall and just off the hands of Nelson. And Hoopman is the team's leading scorer coming into tonight's match through 8 games. Trainer. And off the net, they have to play it. Johnson over to Nelson, and it's going to finish with Johnson off that front line. Faleo to Nelson. And quick setup, but able to improvise. Another chance right here, and Nelson to Nelson. And Trainer, big swing. That'll be off of Leak. And finishing with Ward. Nelson to Nelson. And Trainer, big swing, and that one, way too much power behind that one. And a point for the Yellow Jackets, 6-3 here now. There's Bodeman. And there it is, Sid Johnson once again finding that near side space. And a perfect set from Jordan Nelson. There's the other Nelson. And Ward right over that front wall. Nelson gonna find Trainer, and Trainer gets that baby to fall and just out of reach of Rhodes. And it doesn't matter which way Jordan Nelson decides to set, whether it's behind her, the back doorway, or in front. Dixie State has power from either way, so very difficult to game plan. And Trainer again, and that one is going to fall and off the hands of Blake. And Trainer once again, I think a lot of oomph behind that one. And 9-3. Nelson. Leaks setting up Hoopman. And that one is going to go through again for the second straight time, and splitting Clark and Trainer. I haven't said Gamble's name a lot tonight, but she does come into tonight's matchup with the most kills and points for the Trailblazers. And bending run doesn't work, but Trainer is asking for, and she does. A deflection on that, and we'll take one more look at it and see, in fact, if there was. And I didn't see it there, but a point for Dixie State. There's Trainer, low serve. And Hoopman, big swing, and that one was hit right towards Faleo, but Faleo just one step to the left. And subs for both sides. Jesse Hibble now, the serve for the Yellow Jackets. Faleo, and not a chance there, and a serving ace for the Yellow Jackets. That one was off the front of her hands, didn't get the pop that she wanted. That time she does. Here's Johnson, big swing and blocked, and the windup that Johnson has, my goodness, you think it'd be fire coming out of that ball, but blocked. And here's Hibble, and that serve beyond the line, and a good call by Faleo and Nelson. And Hannah Waddell now checks in for Dixie State. 11-7 here in the second set. Dixie State up 1-0. There's Thomas, and blocked, and leading the way is Oviatt and Clark. As that one had some power behind it, but the wall just saying, not this time. There's Waddell. Thomas setting up Robinson. Oviatt to Trainer. Faleo, big swing. Another chance right here for the Yellow Jackets. Blocked again. And Trainer to Clark, and deflection off the front wall. Puts a lot of spin on it and gets it to fall. And Waddell again. And that serve goes wide on the near side. Hayden Rhodes now. And it's going to finish with Faleo, and Leak to Trainer. Oviatt swinging sides to Faleo, and deflection. And hitting the line. Clark now for the Trailblazers. Low serve. The Yellow Jackets handle it. And it looked like it may have tipped that front line, and Waddell was thrown off just a little bit. So a point for Black Hills State. And Leak now to Waddell. Trainer gonna find Faleo, big swing, and no chance to even try and return that one. As the angle of that just too quick and powerful for anyone to return that, really. Nelson. And it's going to find Leak over to Ward, and it looked like an illegal hit anyway, so a point for Dixie State. And here's Nelson again. Leak to set up and mistimed it, and Trainer said, "You want to do that? That's okay. I'll fire right back," and that she did. She found that open space in the back, and Rhodes wasn't ready for it. And that serve going out beyond the back line. So 17-10 here. Waddell to Nelson, and finding Gamble. Nelson's right there. And it's going to find Faleo, and looks like a blocking error now on the Black Hills side. So 18-10 here. Dixie State with a lot of breathing room now. There's Faleo. And Leak. And that hit by Ward, not going over the net. And a timeout for Coach Carmichael and the Yellow Jackets, and we will take one as well. And we'll be back here in 30 seconds here on the DSU Trailblazer Volleyball Network.
I take the road less traveled, run free, unwind, unravel, someplace outside with lots to do. Green trees, red rocks, and don't forget that blue sky. The sunshine shining, sunshine pouring on me. Think I might just stay a while. Say hooray all day because the sun is gonna shine on me. Sun is gonna shine on me. Sun's gonna shine on me.
We are back inside the Student Activity Center, where we are at a timeout of 19-10 right now. Dixie State on top of Black Hills State. And for those of you that missed the first set, Dixie State was victorious in that one, 25-17. And the baseball team having all sorts of fun here in the crowd and bringing life here in the stands. That serve from Faleo, able to be returned. Got a golden chance right here, all the way over to Johnson, and Johnson. Faleo to Nelson, gonna find Gamble, and able to return that one is Rhodes. And Rhodes playing it safe. And Trainer. Looked like she was going up for a layup right there, but no answer on the defensive side. And finds that open space, and Rhodes with the diving attempt to keep it alive. Faleo again. Leak. Bending run, and that hit not even going over the net at all, and that will be Boatman being denied. And these two teams in the same conference, however, only played once last year early on in the season, and Dixie State won 3-0. And Johnson to Nelson, gonna finish with Faleo, and Faleo. Did Dixie State miss her attacks? Earlier in the season, she is getting a lot of attention tonight. She's leading the way with 9.5 points so far through 2 sets. And that hit denied again by Hoopman. And it is all Dixie State here, 23-10. Blake to start it off to Leak, and Hoopman right over to Nelson, and Gamble, big swing, nobody in the gap, and perfect execution by Dixie State, and we are at game point here in the second set, and Faleo has been up there for quite some time now at the serving position. And Hoopman right to Faleo, and Yellow Jackets another chance right here, and blocked, and that will not end this set. It was tipped at the front line and rolling off the net. So not so fast as Boatman looks to extend this set. And a serving ace for Boatman. And Dixie State just doubled up now, as that was off the hands of Berenyi. And off the hands of Berenyi again, and another serving ace, so back-to-back serving aces, but Coach Felder doesn't look too bothered by it. The team has a comfortable lead. And make that 3 serving aces in a row. And that one went off the hands of Johnson. Bodeman again. Berenyi to Nelson. And Trainer as Leak keeps it alive over to Blake. And Robinson, and that one is stuffed again at the line. And Gamble right there to stop that one. And like set one, set two ends. What a stuffage at the net. So Dixie State 25-14 here in set number two. They go into the break with a 2-0 lead. And we will take a 2-minute break. And we'll be back here to give you some stats before the start of set number three. We'll be right back on the DSU Trailblazer Volleyball Network.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
For over a century, Dixie State University has been shaping the trailblazers of tomorrow by providing a culture of active learning, active life. With a paradigm of real-world experience mixed with cutting-edge technologies and rich traditions, we provide one of the most affordable educations in the West set against the most stunning backdrop on the planet.
Where do you find the titans of classical music in St. George? Classical music on Radio St. George 100.3 FM. Where do you find the legends of jazz? Evenings on Radio St. George 100.3 FM.
Welcome back inside the Student Activity Center, where we are at a break between sets 2 and 3, where Dixie State holds on to a 2-0 set lead over the Yellow Jackets of Black Hills State. 25-17 and 25-14 were the scores from the first two sets, and everything is going right for Dixie State so far. And your leader for Dixie State right now is Toa Faleo, 9.5 points, has 5 kills. 4 digs. So she has been getting her name called quite a lot here, and we didn't see her in the Desert Garden Classic. She was one of the few student athletes who was not dressed for those games, but it is very nice to see her back and making an impact right off the bat here at home for the first time of the 2019 season. And as for the Yellow Jackets, of course, Hopeman leading the way for the Yellow Jackets with 7 points, but does have 9 errors, so a lot of errors her way. And for Dixie State, through 2 sets so far, 4 errors. So a very, very clean game from all of Dixie State's side, and that is something that this team really needed to work on, especially how they started off the season at the Desert Garden Classic, and going from that to how they've played so far through the first 2 sets. It's been quite a turnaround, indeed. So one more game this weekend, which will be tomorrow night at 6 p.m. right here, same time, same place, against South Dakota Mines. So another South Dakota school from the RMAC will be here to try and slow down the pace of Dixie State, and they have just been on fire the last 4 and 2 sets of a game. And right now, if you were to look at the RMAC standings right now, Dixie State is sitting at 4th right now if you were to just go off the overall, no teams coming into today or yesterday have played any conference games. So Dixie State sitting in 4th place right now at 5-3. Of course, Colorado School of Mines, the team that they split the RMAC regular season championship with, at 7-1 right now, leading the way. And we will be getting them later on in the season, and that one will be at home October 12th, so schedule or circle that one on your schedule, as that will be a highly anticipated matchup for Dixie State. But up here 2-0 coming into the 3rd set, and Dixie State showing no signs of slowing the train down. And just moments away here from starting the 3rd set. Officials clearing things up with the score tables, checking the scoreboards, and just waiting for Dixie State to get out of that huddle. And we are ready to go. And Leak Johnson, dangerous opportunity right here, and able to capitalize on that one is Bodeman. And a poor dig from Johnson leads to that point. Nelson finding Faleo. Another chance here for Dixie State. Nelson over to Gamble. And that one was off the net, and no one is able to return it. And quickly tying things up. Faleo now. And finishing with Bodeman, blocked initially. And Trainer knows that she should have had that one in. That one outside of the near side line, as she saw that open space and nobody was there and just misfired. Faleo to Nelson. Backdoor to Trainer, and Trainer fires it, but out of play. A little too much muscle behind that hit. And I don't believe I've said this at all tonight, but the Yellow Jackets have their lead, have the first lead of the match. And Johnson squeezes it inside between 2 defenders. Nelson now to start serving for Dixie State. And that one coming off the hands of Cerrone. And they're saying that it was tipped at the front line. We'll take a better look at it, and it looked like it could have been off the hands of Trainer. Initially waving it off, no, but so there's Cerrone to Johnson. Finishing with Johnson, big swing, and that was off the hands of Blake. And making her first appearance in tonight's match is number 5, Cy Collins. Saw a lot of her in the Desert Garden Classic, but making her first appearance inside the Student Activity Center. And that served low and just fell right into the hands of Rhodes as Blake was trying to make a play on it, and you don't see that very often. Kind of just popped it up, and it was over from there. And that serve from Trainer is an ace. And Rhodes couldn't get a hand on that one. So just like that, Dixie State regains the lead. And wouldn't be surprised to see Coach Felder, once her team gets a comfortable lead, to start seeing some new faces. And that's Blake again running all the way back into her own bench to try and keep that one alive. And gets a hand on it, but no chance to return that one. Here's Trainer. And that one just too much power behind it and out of play. And a free point for the Yellow Jackets. Tess Thomas now. Nelson, and dangerous opportunity right here. And Cerrone gets that one to fall. Nelson just didn't get the return that she wanted, and Yellow Jackets were able to answer back. Another chance here as Faleo runs over, makes that save. And Johnson, big swing, and off the hands of Blake. And she didn't know, but if she didn't touch it, it would have been a point for the Yellow Jackets. But instead, Johnson gets the point. So set three, a little bit of a different story here. 7-6. And Waddell now to Blake. Thomas, and big swing from Robinson, and Robinson's hit didn't have a chance to go over the net. Here's Waddell again. And that serve low. And back to just a 1-point game. And subs for the Yellow Jackets. Hibble now. And that serve low. And back-to-back free points for each of the teams. And 9-7. And Lizzie Clark now. And that one was hit right at Rhodes, and Hoopman has to keep it alive, does so. Trainer backdoor to Gamble, off the front wall. Find Hoopman and stuffed at the net. And it looks like Collins was the one there to make the stuff. Here's Clark again. Right to Rhodes. Robinson is going to find Hoopman. And right there's Waddell to Trainer. And Gamble couldn't make anything happen out of that one. That's just a little too close to the net. And very rare will you see that between those two. Rhodes' serve, not even close, and Dixie State looks at that one. Nelson now. Rhodes, and it's going to find Hoopman again, and Faleo's right there to Nelson. It's going to finish with Faleo. And backdoor to Leak. And Nelson nearly kept that one alive, and that one came screaming back down from the ceiling. And nearly gets that one to have a teammate make a play on it. So here's Leak. Nelson to Nelson. Going to finish with Faleo. And Faleo didn't need a lot of power. She found that open space on the near side and gets it to fall. Here's Faleo now. And Hoopman. It's going to find Ward. Big swing, and it was stuffed, but out of play. And that was Trainer and Gamble with the tag team right there. 12-10 here in the third set. Dixie State up 2-0. Looking to bring out the brooms. Faleo, big swing, and that baby was fired in there. Not a chance for the Yellow Jackets to even get a hand on it. the younger Nelson sister now, to serve for Dixie State. Rhodes to Leak. And that one was off the hands of Cerrone and into the student section. So 2 quick points here for the Trailblazers. And that serve is low from Nelson, and a freebie for the Yellow Jackets. Goldman now to Faleo. Nelson and Johnson off the net, and was looking for a deflection on that one, but no dice. So back to just a 2-point game. And Nelson to Nelson. Going to find Trainer. And Blake setting up. Here's Ward. And right towards Nelson to Nelson. And Faleo comes flying in and off the hands of Leak. And we've seen it multiple times here tonight. Faleo. Just too much power for anybody to handle. And Trainer now to serve for the Trailblazers. Low to Blake. And it's going to find Ward, and that one was blocked, and it hits the line just inside of the line. So a block by Dixie State. And here's Trainer again. And that serve going outside of the back line, and good awareness from the Yellow Jackets. Tess Thomas now for the Honors. And Trainer to Collins, and the Yellow Jackets able to keep it alive. And Trainer with a quick attack. Yellow Jackets, another chance right here off the front line. Nelson to Trainer. Back to Johnson. And dangerous chance right here. And coming in for the first time in this match is Miranda Ekbald, and immediately makes an impact. And a timeout. And we are going to take a timeout as well. We'll be back in 30 seconds here on the DSU Trailblazer Volleyball Network.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
We are back inside the Student Activity Center, where Dixie State holding on to a 17-13 lead here in the third set of the match. Dixie State taking set one 25-17 and taking set two 25-14, and looking to end this one in 3 sets and replicate the result of last year's matchup between these two teams, where last year was a 3-0 clean sweep. And so far, looking to be the same. And Waddell now out of the timeout. And a service ace, and that was off the hands of Blake. Here's Waddell again. And Blake to start it off over to Leak. And Cerrone, and Trainer's right there. Over to Nelson. Going to find Faleo. And blocked, but another chance for Faleo right here. Right to Blake. And it's going to find Leak. Faleo pops it up. And setting error by Trainer. And she knew at the moment she made contact with it. So subs for the Yellow Jackets. And so Faleo to Trainer. Collins, big swing, another chance right here. Thomas setting up Hoopman. Front line gets to it. And Leak playing it safe. Ekbald to Trainer. And Ekbald. And Trainer with the one-handed set. And Coach Felder loves it over there on the sideline. And Ekbald just out of the reach from, I believe, was Rhodes. Ekblad. Thomas. Quick attack from Robinson, but Robinson just too much power behind it. In, out of play. They had the right idea, was hoping for a deflection, just too much power and no dip on it. There's Ekblad. And there's Leak, and Ekblad stuck in mud for just a second. As that attack was right between those two defenders, between Trainer and Ekblad. So 20-15 here. There's Rhodes to Faleo. Trainer from Gamble, and Gamble fires it in there, and no chance. So a new face here for Dixie State, number 18, Sierra Roberts. A sophomore out of Vegas, and another timeout for Black Hill State. Will keep it here. So 21-15 here in the third set. Dixie State bringing in some new faces, trying to get some young players some experience and give the usual starters some rest. And continuing their success from last weekend, winning all 4 games and looking to make it 5 straight now. So Dixie State on a roll, going in the right direction. And Dixie State, coming into the regular season, we're projected to finish 3rd in the conference. So a chip on their shoulder, because coming into last season, they were projected to finish 6th in the RMAC conference and getting co-champs last year. So a little bit of chip on their shoulder once again coming into this season, and so far showing the rest of the conference that we're no pushover, we're here. So ready to resume play. Here's Roberts. And he's going to finish with Leak, and blocked, and there they are again, the Twin Towers. Gamble and Faleo right there to deny that attack. Here's Roberts. And a serving ace for Robertson. That was off the hands of Hoopman. And 22-15 here now. 23-15, excuse me. There's Roberts again. And another serving ace. Back-to-back aces for Sierra Roberts, making her first appearance here in tonight's match. And we are at game point. And everyone on their feet here. And that one off the net. And Leak to Hoopman. And Robertson. And Trainer smacks that baby in there, and that's going to conclude it. 25-15 your final. And one last look at the final kill. And Trainer just fires it in there, and no chance to return it at all. So 25-15 your final here in the third set. So it's 25-17, 25-14, and 25-15 your final. And your point leader for all of Dixie State is Toa Faleo, leading the way with 13 points and 8 kills. Only had 1 error, and she had 4 serving aces as well to go along with that. And I think it's easy to say that she is our player of the match. Toa Faleo in her first home game of the 2019 season, and Dixie State sure did miss her production. For myself, James Guerin, and everyone here else at CEC, we thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. So be there or not, It's up to you guys. But come out. You saw the crowd here tonight. It was a lot of fun. So 6 p.m. right here in the Student Activity Center. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Have a good night. Aloha.